Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to video 3 in the Practice on Fire video series. This is Kevin Doherty, and today we're talking about the best way to overcome skepticism and resistance to your work. Make sure you've watched the first two videos in this series. They will segue nicely into this conversation, and I'm really excited to coach on this particular subject because I see it's a massive issue in these industries and a concern that many of my coaching clients bring to me time and again. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, as I mentioned, whether we realize this or not, skepticism is a major obstacle to getting more people in your door. And I want you to take a moment to really assess this for your practice and how big of a deal this actually is. Please realize that the average person out there in our mainstream world doesn't really get what you do. They're not really privy to your services, your modalities. They're probably holding on to a fair amount of misassumptions or a misunderstanding about how your modalities work, what the benefits are and are not, and whether or not this particular service can help them. This is just the norm, and we have to be honest about this and not be, kind of in a wishful thinking mode of just, I wish more people got it. I wish they could accept what I do, right? So, as the marketer of your business, this is an issue that you really want to get resourceful in overcoming. And I want to help you in this video do exactly that, okay? Every person looking at making a big investment in your services is asking the question, how do I know if this will help me? Every single one of them is in the back of their mind, how do I know if this is a good investment or not, right? Because they don't know the answer, it feels risky to take the plunge. And especially if you're probably going to ask that they make a multi-hundred or multi-thousand-dollar commitment, you have to realize the average person has some fear, some resistance around doing that, largely because there's a big gray zone or question mark in front of them of how do I know if this is going to do anything for me or not, or if it's really going to solve my particular issues or my chief complaint, right? So a good marketer minimizes perceived risk so that the prospective client feels more inspired than afraid in making a buying decision. And this might be something that you might want to write down because if you can kind of get this shift in your own mind about how this works and just basic sales psychology, you can start to leverage this principle into every piece of marketing or content that you put out to the world. Your job is to get people more inspired than afraid in making that decision to work with you. And if you do that, you'll not only attract higher quality people in the door that are ready to receive what you offer, you'll get way more of them as well. So, of course, the question is, how do you do this? Now, the best way to overcome skepticism and fear is to actually help people in advance without expecting anything in return. The legendary marketer Frank Kern calls this giving results in advance. And across any industry, this is something you want to consider doing. That your job is to warm people up, to get them trusting you before you ask for any sort of financial commitment or any other kind of commitment to move forward, right? So you want to build that relationship and establish a context of value, trust, goodwill before you ask for the sale, essentially, before you ask them to buy your services. So that's what I want to help you get in place. And this is a big component of my coaching work, is helping you do exactly this. It's a big conversation. There's a fair amount that goes into this, but today I can give you kind of a broad overview of how this works, okay? So the main principle here is you want to be generous in giving away free content and information that partially solves the big pain points that your ideal client has. So first of all, are you aware of who your ideal client or patient is? Are you aware of their primary pains and challenges, their big motivators to get in the door to see you? Of course, you need clarity around that as a foundation before we can do this. And once again, these are subjects that I coach on in depth because you have to get this in place. It's just foundational to your success to get a deep level of clarity about the kind of person you want to serve, what their pain points are, and how you can help with those in a unique way. So we want to give away a lot of content, a lot of information on the front end before we ask people to buy from us, okay? Now, there are many ways to do this, but the best way, and this is the primary way that I coach on, is to create a free front end lead magnet that you give away to anyone and everyone interested in your work. This generally takes the form of a free report or a free video that you structure on your website, and people leave their name and email address in exchange for that information. And this is the kind of ideal representation of your business. It's what you need every single person before they can make a commitment to work with you to consume, to digest, to absorb before they are clear on whether this is going to help them and they pick up the phone and call you or click that online scheduler, right? In this lead magnet, you want to systematically overcome your ideal client's objections, fears, and misnomers about your work. And you also want to share genuinely helpful tips and insights, even if the person consuming this content doesn't see you for care. So this isn't just a little sales document or video. It's not just meant to give away a bunch of information that sells this person on what you do, even though, of course, that is ultimately what you are doing. You have a genuine desire to help whoever reads this, and you want to help as many people as you can through consuming your free content in the form of your lead magnet, getting them on your email list. And like I said, there are many other ways you can do this. Every form of content you create for your business should really have this purpose behind it, whether it's a YouTube video or a blog post or an article, fan page post on Facebook. You're always trying to overcome objections, fears, and misnomers about your work, okay? And through repetition, you'll gradually kind of, I don't like the term so much, but you'll wear people down to want to work with you in a good way, in a way that they finally get it. They can see the value. They're not afraid anymore. They're more inspired, okay? So if you can get this particular client attraction system in place of a free lead magnet, it works wonders for your practice. It'll remove so much of the stress and hardship of getting people in the door and getting the right people in the door, getting people in who are ready to receive what you uniquely have to offer. So in my coaching programs and in Practice on Fire, the one that I'm about to open registration for, you're going to learn exactly how to do this and how to use it as a filtration mechanism, as an educational tool to, like I said, get the right people in the door, get people in that are a pleasure to work with, that are committed to what you offer, and that are compliant. If set up correctly, this lead magnet does all of this extremely well. It educates, it shares value, it builds goodwill and trust, it overcomes objections, and it opens people up to receiving the full value of care that you have to offer. It also gives you tremendous expert positioning because when you have this in place, you now have author status. It's really on the same plane as writing a book, having some sort of bigger informational document that you share that makes people say, wow, they are obviously a legitimate resource and I should see them over anybody else. You want these expert positioning tools in place to make client attraction so much easier. It's just, I can't even compare it. And most people don't do this, and it's the big reason why they struggle to not only get people in the door, but they get overwhelmed by their competition. They get the wrong people in the door. They get burned out, right? So you need these tools in place to really take care of your business, to make sure it's a healthy flow day in and day out, that you're getting enough people in and you're getting the right people in, okay? Now, this video you're watching is designed to do exactly this, right? If you just reverse engineer what I'm doing, you probably found me on Facebook or somewhere online. You're like, who is this guy? He says he's a coach for practitioners around the world, which is true. How do I know if he's any good? How do I know if he can help me? He has this coaching program. I don't know if it's a good fit for me or not. Well, that's why I do these videos, so I can educate you on my process. I can share my expert positioning, and I can say, hey, look, if you like these free videos I'm putting out, there's a really good chance you're going to love my coaching program, right? It's the exact same for you. And once again, most coaches don't really do this effectively, and certainly most practitioners don't either, and it's a major reason why they struggle. I've never really had a hard time attracting as many clients as I want because I'm really clear about what people need to hear in order to make an informed decision to work with me. And lo and behold, I get the right people into my programs. People that are like, yeah, I love that free video series. I want to work with you because that seems like a really good fit. It resonates with me, right? Exact same process, exact same psychology for your business. And this is a lot of what I want to help you get in place, okay? So you have to realize, and this is a big paradigm shift for a lot of us, you are in the information marketing business as much as a service-based business. And I know for a fact that most practitioners just think of themselves through the lens of this modality that they offer in one-to-one client or patient interaction. In this social media and internet age we live in, you have to dispense powerful information as part of your sales or marketing process. And hopefully you enjoy that. A lot of my job as a coach is to not only get you doing it, but get you passionate about information marketing. Because if that information does its job, it makes your life so much easier. You make more money, there's more of a flow, you attract people so much easier. So please start to embrace this identity, this role of being an information entrepreneur as much as this modality or service you offer, okay? They go hand in hand and you really can't separate them out anymore. So in my coaching program, Practice on Fire, I'm going to teach you step by step how to create an awesome lead magnet that overcomes skepticism and gives you the expert positioning that makes client attraction exponentially easier. If you've attracted clients who don't respect your office policies or say you're too expensive or seem defensive or not committed, this is the ultimate solution. And these are the primary sources of burnout in our professions. It's not just getting enough people in the door and making money. That tends to be a big source of burnout, is struggling with that. But a lot of my folks who I've worked with over the years, they're doing okay with that, but they're attracting people who drain them. They kind of try to negotiate with their fees, or they show up late for their appointments, or they cancel last minute. And these are all little inputs that over time just wear you down, right? And they're like, just everything just feels like kind of a burden because people aren't respecting my policies, or I'm not able to charge as much as I'd like. People say I'm too expensive. This is the ultimate antidote to that, is having expert positioning, and you create this aura, right, that you just can't be messed with in your practice. And when you set this up the right way, you have the right expert positioning, people are not going to mess with you nearly as much. So if you've enjoyed this free video series, I have great news. My coaching program, Practice on Fire, is opening for registration soon. And if you just look on this page, you should see details of when the program is opening. It might have already opened depending on when you're accessing this video. And if you just click the link on this page, you'll get all the details you need about the program and the dates, what's included, everything you'll ever want to know and more is included on that page, okay? If you don't see that link yet, it hasn't opened yet, but make sure to tune back in at that opening date and come back to this page and you'll see a link to go ahead and learn all about the program, okay? In this program, I want to help you do a few very, very important things. Fill your schedule with ideal clients or patients. Maximize revenue and fulfill your financial potential. Get all of the most important systems in place to create consistent and stable growth. Create powerful expert positioning that makes client attraction 10 times easier. Reduce your stress, increase your confidence, and safeguard your practice in spite of the economy, insurance regulations, or competition. And create passive income streams that give you more freedom as a business owner. Over the course of 2 months, I'm going to teach you how to do all of this in the most effective way possible. And if you're willing to get in there and take some action, learn some new strategies and skills, you're going to be in a totally new place in a couple of months. Not only internally in terms of your confidence level, your clarity, but getting the right systems in place that make all of this so much easier. You can breathe. There's not so much stress, so many ups and downs, right? And we get lasting security in place, long-term stability. As a business owner, I can't tell you how valuable that is. And there's a reason why 80% of business owners fail within 5 years. It's because they don't do this stuff. They don't know what I'm talking about in this video series, and they kind of leave it all up to chance, which is a really dangerous and stressful way to build a business. So let's get you on the right track. Let's make sure you have the right systems in place, you have the right entrepreneurial mindset in place that ensures the highest level of success and prosperity possible in your practice. So we'll leave it at that for now, guys. I so appreciate you watching this video series. I hope it's helped you tremendously. And let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will touch base in the near future, and be sure to look for the update on Practice on Fire opening very, very soon. And I can't wait to work with you in the program. Bye for now, and I wish you nothing but the best in your practice success. Take care.